Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm a homeschooling mom of 4 kiddos, ages 14, 6, almost 4, and 1.5. And I love homeschooling. I love talking about it. It's a huge passion of mine. I do have a cleaning channel that is also a passion of mine, but homeschooling is like my heart. I love it so much, and so I really enjoy chatting with you guys about it. It's been a little while since I posted a video, which is disappointing to me, but you know, that's just life. I really need to batch these videos. I think that's the only way, and that just requires some organization. That requires a lot of time on my end to film like a bunch of videos, and I just don't really have like even an hour to film. I have about enough time for maybe 1 or 2 videos to sit down and film. So anyway, I'm just gonna do the best I can, but I thought I would share with you guys my summer plans as far as homeschooling goes and just life goes, and kind of talk to you guys about what I've been focusing on, not only for homeschooling and for my kids, but also to like improve upon myself, and so that I can bring my best self to my family. And I feel like I've been working really hard on myself in multiple areas, and it's really true that if you work on yourself, if you give yourself a little bit of time as a mom, it really does help the kids and the whole family. So I've been working on myself mentally as well as physically, like trying to move my body more, trying to eat healthier, and then mentally doing things like coping mechanisms for when life is hard or when there's something going, you know, not so great in my life that I can't control. Doing things that I can control and not letting that push me into, I guess, depression, I think is probably what I have dealt with a lot in my life. I know I have it in my family. A parent of mine has struggles with anxiety and depression, and I definitely think I would let things really get to me, and it would cause me to be depressed for like the whole day. I wouldn't say for like weeks or months, but it would definitely bring me down for at least a day, if not more than a day. And that's not good for my kids, and it's not good for me. So I've been working on allowing myself to feel sad or frustrated with whatever's going on, but not like sinking into that and dwelling in it, and finding better ways to cope with it than like getting depressed and really sad and everything. So I've also been working on myself as far as spirituality goes, religion, you know, with reading the Bible more and reading it more to my kids and everything. So I feel like it just kind of dawned on me before I decided to sit down on this video. I was like, wow, you've been really working on yourself recently, and I'm proud of that. And I think that that has to do with homeschooling and being a mom, because that can only benefit your kids if you're in a healthier spot. And as far as like fit eating and, you know, moving my body, exercising, that affects my children and my whole family and myself as well, because I want to live a long time and I want to be healthy while I'm living. And I'm really realizing, as I'm in my early 30s, I'm really realizing how what I choose to do with my body that I've been given, how that affects my life and me physically. I already feel it really bringing me down physically when I'm not eating well, when I'm not moving my body and everything. So anyway, I thought I would talk about that, and then I thought I would talk about our summer homeschool plans. So recently we wrapped up our homeschool year, actually last week. So Henry, in my 6-year-old, he had a more typical-ish school year. It was his kindergarten year, and I feel like overall we handled it pretty typically, except for the fact that my oldest had a bowel obstruction, so I was gone for 2.5 months of the school year. But we didn't really take many breaks outside of that, maybe like during Christmas time a little bit, Thanksgiving a little bit, but otherwise, like, we just did school as much as we could. We didn't do it every day because we'd be out and about doing field trips or whatever, but as much as we could, we did it. We didn't take like a week off or here and there or whatever. So I feel like he had a pretty typical year, but my oldest, who was in the hospital and just went through severe trauma with all of that, he did not have a typical school year at all. So he is still, we just kind of stopped his schoolwork. I did not have a goal of completing his schoolwork. Now, he's going into 9th grade. So being in 8th grade, it's a lot tougher to kind of double up on lessons and finish faster when you've missed time. It's a lot tougher to do that with tougher subjects than it is with a kindergartner. You can do like 2 math lessons a day, 2 English lessons a day, and it's not that big of a deal because their lessons are short anyway. And my kindergartner, he is very like motivated and does what I tell him to do. He's very wants to please and everything. So it wasn't that hard to do that with him. But with my oldest, it was too much. But I did have him do pre-algebra through teaching textbooks. We started that in the middle of the year because he left public school in the middle of the year because of his, hospitalization and bowel obstruction and all that. So he had been doing 2 pre-algebra lessons a day on teaching textbooks, but he's just still not done. So he's just going to continue that into the summer. He was in Algebra 1 when he was in public school, so it's a little bit easier for him. It's not that hard for him to just go knock out. He's very good at math, so it's not hard for him to just go knock out 2 pre-algebra lessons on teaching textbooks, which is kind of easier to use. So that has been good for him, and he's just going to keep doing that. And the rest of the stuff we just stopped. But my kindergartner, we did complete all of his work, The Good and the Beautiful language arts, The Good and the Beautiful math, his handwriting and Explode the Code. We had already finished the first Explode the Code book, and we were like midway through the 1.5 book, is what they call it, I guess. And then we had finished his kindergarten handwriting, and we had started the first grade handwriting book through The Good and the Beautiful. So I just decided to stop those like a week or 2 ago. I was like, you know what, we're good. We're going to stop those. We finished his Math K like a couple weeks ago because we were already ahead. It was pretty easy for him. So we were doing like 2 lessons a day already before the bowel obstruction happened. So we had wiggle room with that. And so we just kind of easily finished his math. But his language arts is more extensive. We were ahead with there's like these booster cards that you do. We were ahead with those, luckily. So we finished those, but we still had like the curriculum to do. And actually like the last week we had to do like 5 lessons a day to finish. Now we could have just continued into the summer. I know lots of homeschoolers who just do year-round homeschooling. They do it in the summer. It's no big deal. And we could have easily just picked it up and done it. But I don't know. There's something about my personality and his too that just enjoys the completion. Being like, we completed this. You are done with kindergarten. And now we get to rest and take a break for summer. I think we will lean towards a more year-round schedule, like not such a super long summer break like the public school takes. I think ours will be shorter, but I think we will always take our longest break in the summer because there's a lot that goes on in the summer. There's VBS camps, which Henry is doing 2 of those, so that's something he's doing this summer. Vacation Bible School. He's doing one in June with well, not with, but like his cousins are also going to be, he's not the same age as them, but they're also going to be at that camp. So we chose that one. And then he's doing one in July. They're like week-long camps. They're like half days with some of our very good homeschool friends. So there are a bunch of VBS Vacation Bible School camps that we could do in our area, but we chose those 2. The church we attend does not offer a VBS, so we chose those 2, and I think that's a really good choice. We've actually never done the church that we're doing in July. We've never done that VBS before because it's a little bit of a drive for us. Not far, but just there's so many around us. We never did it, but our friends said it's really, really good, and they were doing it, so we were like, okay, we'll do it too. But the other one, my oldest did that VBS camp for years until he aged out, and then Henry did it last year. It was his first year at that camp, and so this will be his second year. So very excited about that. And so that's 2 weeks, you know, of the summer that they do VBS, and they love it. Like my oldest loves it. Henry loved it. It's a big deal. Last summer we actually did a paid one that both Henry and Jack were able to do. I was working a lot, and that's just what fit our family best. So we did that. I don't think we're going to do that this summer. I don't think we're going to do any paid camps. It's just not in the budget. And VBS is free, by the way. If you don't know anything about Vacation Bible School, check into it because it is free. So usually, but what they do offer, this one school offered some paid camps, and so it's just not in the budget. And I honestly think Jack will just, my 3, almost 4-year-old, will just enjoy being home with me and getting more special attention from me while his older brother is at VBS. And so that's kind of his special thing as opposed to going to a camp. And since I'm trying to focus more on being a homemaker and just having like a part-time job of my cleaning channel and everything, I feel like I have more time to do that. So that's like some of our homeschool plans. I mean, our summer plans. This first week of summer, so we hit it hard last week. One reason was to just get it done, but another reason was because this first week of June, his first official week of summer, his cousins, Henry's cousins, are staying at my in-laws' house while their parents go on this fancy vacation, which we're not doing, but they invited Henry to come stay as well because he loves doing sleepovers at his grandparents' house with his cousins. It's like they do it every other weekend on Saturdays anyway. So he was super excited to do that. He's absolutely loving it. Kind of breaks my mom heart because he's been with me. Like he's never been to public school. He's never been to official preschool. He only does this little homeschooler elective school for 3 hours once a week. And that's only for like spring and fall, shorter spring and fall sessions. And so it's weird for me because I'm used to him being around all of the time and we just do life together. And he's just so happy to be doing his own thing. And so that makes me a little sad, but I know it's good for him and I have to let go sometimes. We don't do sleepovers with friends. That's just kind of a rule my husband and I decided on, but we do allow it with their grandparents. It's kind of like a great compromise because Henry's so social and he really wants to do sleepovers. So he's doing that this week, and then next week is his first Vacation Bible School camp. And so I knew that with 2 weeks of the summer being super busy and we wouldn't be able to do school probably any of those days, that I just didn't know when we would finish school if we just didn't hit it hard and get it done. So it feels like a relief instead of something that's kind of hanging over my head, like, oh, we got to fit that in one of these days. We got to fit that in. It's just like, it's done. It's over. Henry was so proud to be done with kindergarten. He had a little kindergarten graduation through our homeschool group, which was awesome. It was a totally like official kindergarten graduation. It was so cute, so much fun. I'm so glad we participated in that. So he feels like really done with kindergarten, excited to move on to first grade. So that's what we decided. I was pretty up in the air of like, do I want to just do a little bit of school here and there in the summer? But I just don't think that fits our family and our personalities, at least not in this phase of life. I think we are the type that wants to just be done at a certain stopping point and take somewhat of a break in the summer. So I think we're definitely going to take June and July off completely. And then my goal is to start back like the first week in August. So I'm not sure what the public school is doing. I know I kind of want to look into it because I am interested because we have friends and family members that go to public school. But they finished like at the end of May. Actually a week before we finished. So it was like the 3rd week of May they finished. So my guess is that they're going to start earlier in August because of that. But I don't know. So I need to look into that. But to me, taking 2 full months off will feel like a really good break, but not too long. So that's what I'm thinking. We also love just like going to the pool in the summer, going to the splash pad. We do a lot of things, even though it is very hot here in Houston, Texas. And some might say, oh, well, since it's so hot, might as well be indoors doing school. But we actually do a lot of stuff in the summer. We do a lot of water involved things. We go to the beach, we go like Galveston, we go to the pool, the splash pad, all of that. And then they have their camps, and we hang out with our friends and cousins that go to public school that are now finally off for summer. So we're very excited to take the break. And I think that I needed it. I think it was good to really hit the ground running when we got back from the hospital the last time and just finish the school year and feel like even though our school year was so strange and hard and sad in many ways, that we got it done. We did it despite what happened in life. And I feel like if we can still homeschool, even with that traumatic life event happening to us, we can homeschool in any circumstances. So I think there's something to be said of that like mental perspective, because I have definitely in the past wavered on homeschooling, and I am so convicted for homeschooling. Like, I will not, under any circumstances, unless I am not here on this earth, or, I guess can never say never, but my own choice will never be to send the kids to public school or private school or anything like that. So I'm just so convicted on homeschooling them for so many reasons, and I'm not going back and forth on that anymore. So that feels really good. I feel a lot of peace in that. I feel like there was a lot of turmoil in me when I was going back and forth with with my oldest, putting him in public school, taking him out, doing homeschooling. We went back and forth with that. That was not good for him and not good for me. It was just, I think a big part of it was I was having 3 babies, and pregnancy is very hard on me, and then you have a newborn and all of that, and we're not having any more kids anymore. I was very sick like the entire pregnancy with all my pregnancies. So I wish I though had still been as convicted, because that was not as bad. Being super sick and pregnant was not as bad as my child being in the hospital going through all these surgeries and everything. So if we could still homeschool through that, we could have homeschooled through all of my super sick pregnancies and newborn stages and stuff. Just made it work, and homeschooled during different times and everything. So I wish I'd had that perspective then. But I do have grace for myself, and knowing that it was hard, and I've learned so much through these years, and so I kind of have to just let that go, and just move forward, knowing that I have this peace now, I have this conviction for homeschooling now, and all I have is now and moving forward. So yeah, that is kind of our summer plans, is just going to the beach, going to the pool, going to the splash pad. There's like a pleasure pier in Galveston we want to go to, hanging out with cousins and friends, VBS camps, and no school. The only school I want to do is reading. So I want to read to the kids, and I want them, my 2 oldest, to have reading time to themselves. So my 6-year-old Henry is with his grandparents right now and his cousins. So obviously I'm not trying to make him read while he's doing that. And so my oldest, I'm kind of just letting him chill as well. But once Henry gets back, I want to get into a routine where he's reading like one of his little books once a day, like Monday through Friday. And then I am reading to him, and same with my oldest. So I need to figure out what's best for that. I was thinking reading to them, it would be good to do like before bed or something, but there's so many of them and they're interested in different things. So I think I might do some of them, like maybe my oldest. I was thinking I could read to him before bed. Yes, my almost 9th grader, I still want to read to him. Because I think it's just good. I'm a big fan of read alouds for any ages. So I think I would like to read to my oldest at night before bed, but then my youngest ones, I just don't think that will fit. So I'm kind of thinking during nap time when the toddler is napping. Maybe I'll read to like my 6 and almost 4-year-old. And then when she wakes up from her nap or in the morning, do some reading time with her. So that's something I'm still kind of trying to figure out, because if I just try to sit everyone down and read, all hell breaks loose. Like, honestly, you guys, unless they're eating, that's the only way I can get, like, if everyone's around, to chill and read. And I don't want to do that, I don't think, in the summer, because that requires some organization on my part, and I think I want to give myself a break of not having to wake up at a specific time. I still wake up and have the kids that I need to take care of and make their breakfast and everything, but I want to give myself a break from that routine of having to get up and making sure all our books are ready and all their food is ready before they get up, so I can sit them down and they're perfectly ready to eat while I read. It just takes a lot of effort, and I think for me to continue doing that when we're homeschooling, I need to have a break from it. And that's something I've been thinking about for the summer, is I need to have a break from homeschooling myself, like teaching. And then I also need to figure out when we're going to take breaks throughout the year, so that I have that to look forward to. So when I am tired and unmotivated for whatever we're doing with homeschooling, I can think, okay, well, we have a break coming up in a few weeks, so just push through until then, and then you can kind of get lax and, rest a little bit. So that's something I want to do this summer, is really figure out our breaks we're going to take, not set in stone, but just have an idea so that I have something to look forward to during the year. And then, of course, solidify their curriculum, which I will do a video on here about their curriculum once I've solidified it. I did a video before this talking about just my plans and ideas, and I was really amped, and I still am, but I think I was overzealous. I think I was looking into so many different things, and I just saw these shiny objects and was just wanting everything. And now, obviously, budget does not allow you to have everything. Time does not allow you to do everything. I don't have unlimited time. So now I'm trying to reel it back. And what I've told myself is just choose the basics for each subject, for each kid. And then if throughout the year we start to see, oh, we have some extra time for more individual work they could be doing or whatever, maybe I want them to have some work they can do on their own a little bit more, or maybe I want to add in something we do as a family a little bit more, and then I'll add that in as the year goes on, and maybe we'll have a little bit extra money for that as time goes on, instead of just buying it all at once and then maybe not using all of it, and then it's kind of a waste of money and frustrating and all of that. So I will try to get my curriculum pick videos out once I've kind of really set it in stone. It's this is what we're doing. So that might not even be until the middle of the summer, honestly, guys. I feel like I am just a real mom, and I don't, this homeschooling channel is not my job or anything. So I'm not gonna just buy curriculum just so I can make a video. You know what I mean? I'm only going to buy it when we're ready financially, and when we're ready, when I've really fully decided on what I want. So I don't want to put up a video of just oh, this is what I think we're doing, and then change. So anyway, probably expect my official curriculum picks midway through the summer, is my guess for what we're going to do. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I did want to talk about how I've been working on myself a little bit, so I'll just briefly touch on that, because that could be a whole video. But I kind of already talked about it, I guess, but I just have been doing coping mechanisms. So for example, I've been going on long walks with my dog, with our golden retriever that's 6 months old, our puppy. She's getting bigger, and she's been able to go on long walks, and that has been so good for me. So I'll do that, and I'll listen to a podcast, or I have a Taylor Swift playlist. I love listening to Taylor Swift. I used to run to her. I have vivid memories because she started posting music or making music when I was like 16, and she's like a year older than me. And so I've just grown up with her, and each time an album would come out, it would be like Christmas to me, and I would go for runs. Like, it would really motivate me to go running again because I would be listening to her music. So some of the music is not super upbeat to some people probably, but to where you would want to run to it. But I don't know, to me it works and it motivates me. So I'm not quite back to running yet. I think maybe once the puppy is fully grown and she can run with me, maybe that's when I'll decide to start running as well. But my body feels really different after having Charlie, after having a fourth kid. Just doesn't feel good when I'm running. So I'm kind of just giving myself time and grace, and that's something that I've realized. I'm kind of an all or nothing person, and I'm not good about that. So I'm trying to just ease myself into it. So long walks with my dog have been so therapeutic, good for me mentally and physically. Friends, making friends. I have my very good friend, my best friend, Chelsea. So that has been awesome for me to really like build that friendship. That's been good for me mentally. It's been good for the kids because our kids are good friends. And what else have I been doing just mentally? Trying to read the Bible more, and you know, we go to church and just trying to talk about it with the kids, read Jesus Calling. That has been really good for me. And then physically, I've noticed my body just like needing food. I would either just not eat much, or I would kind of binge on like sweets or whatever. And I'm still struggling with the sweets, but I'm trying to feed my body just good foods. And foods that I like though. Like, I'm not just going to buy some salad that I'm not going to eat. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be food I will actually eat. And that I enjoy, but that feels good on my body. So I've been trying to do that, trying to get good sleep. I felt like with eating good food, I just didn't have time for it with taking care of the kids and everything. But I've been telling myself, no, you need this. Your body cannot go on if you don't start giving it the proper nutrients that it needs. So that has been really good for me to start doing, and that's kind of like a journey I'm still on, but I feel like it's getting better. So yeah, that's kind of our summer plans, and that's what I've been up to. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely leave a comment below with your summer plans. I would love to read them, and if you're working on yourself too, like some things you're doing for your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, I would love to know about that as well in the comments. And definitely subscribe if you're new, and click the bell to be notified when I post new videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye.